This episode of Brokerage in Motion was brought to you by Simplicity Group.
Hello and welcome to Brokerage in Motion, your one-stop guide for everything happening in independent distribution. I'm Katie Falinger. In industry headlines, AIG has announced plans to rebrand its life and retirement business. SAFG Retirement Services will become Corebridge Financial when it becomes a public company. AIG is one of the largest providers of retirement solutions and insurance products in the U.S., and Chairman and CEO Peter Zaffino said the announcement represents continued progress toward AIG's life and retirement business becoming a standalone company. In other news, Pacific Life has been named one of the 2022 world's most ethical companies by the Ethisphere Institute. The company was evaluated on 5 categories, including its ethics and compliance program, culture of ethics, environmental and societal impact, corporate governance, and leadership and reputation. This marks the 5th consecutive year Pacific Life has been recognized with this honor. In product news, Nationwide has launched a new variable universal life insurance product. Built specifically for fee-based investment advisors, Nationwide Advisory VUL is a permanent life insurance policy and allows for management of funds within the product without a life license. It's the first fee-based VUL fully integrated within the registered investment advisor's operating system. Meanwhile, sales numbers are soaring. U.S. life insurers are reporting big increases in sales of non-variable individual life insurance products for the fourth quarter of 2021. According to survey data from Wink, the combined sales of non-variable indexed policies in both universal life and whole life increased 16% from the fourth quarter of 2020 to Q4 2021, amounting to a whopping $718 million. If you have any carrier or industry announcements or news to share, we would love to hear about it. Feel free to email us at info@nailba.org. Turning now to advocacy. I recently sat down with Finseca's Chief Advocacy Officer, Armstrong Robinson, to talk about the association's agenda, the issues it's fighting for, and their importance for brokerage. So, Army, let's talk about Finseca advocacy. How is Finseca unifying the voice of public policies to increase financial awareness, and why should this be important to brokerage?
Well, I think financial security for all is a mission we can all get behind, and that's really how we chose Finseca's name. We wanted to choose a name that evoked the calling of your profession, and brokerage is absolutely part of that. What you do every day, in our estimation, is deliver financial security to the American people. So Finseca is driven of the notion of financial security for all, and we really want to bring the profession back together under one tent to close the $12 trillion life insurance protection gap, deliver greater annuity protection and lifetime income solutions to people. And in doing that, we're going to be aligned with our sister trades and industry partners in order to drive better and more effective results on behalf of your profession.
So let's talk about the advocacy agenda, if we could. What's on it? How is it determined? And then also, what about volunteer roles?
Sure. So, core to what we do is the tax treatment of the products. They're all terribly sensitive, as is the client planning. And then the commission-based model of delivering financial security advice is essential to what we do and to what you do. And those things, unfortunately, come under various degrees of threat. Not unlike selling life insurance and annuities, advocacy tends to be kind of an infinity game. That's good, I guess, for my job security, but it also means we've got to continually reinvest in this. Most public servants, most policymakers are not experts in what you do, and our membership does. And so we have to teach them. And that with the turnover in Congress and staff and state legislators, even in insurance commissioners, we have to constantly educate and re-educate so they understand the impact of the noble work you do. So our advocacy agenda is set annually, principally by our Government Affairs Committee, which is a committee of our board of directors. And so to serve on that, you have to be part of the board. We have some fabulous brokerage members joining the Finseca board next year, and I'm really excited about their contributions. Of course, your very own Chip Van Dusen has been my partner in crime for a number of years. He chairs the committee today. And so annually, they approve an agenda set, whether it's inside buildup, protection of death benefits, annuities, retirement, standards of conduct, and commissions we talked about. Beyond that, obviously those 9 people can't cover every issue with the depth that's necessary. And so we have a series of working groups that cover specific areas and dive deeper into those issues to advise the team and the professional staff and counsel around what we do and how we do it. And that's staffed with, or populated those working groups with volunteers from across the profession. And that covers, standards of conduct, wealth transfer, retirement. There's a series of different issues. And then we have task forces that take on project-based work if there's a really niche deep dive we've got to do. We may talk about it later in this interview, but long-term care is an increasing area of public policy interest, and we have to develop some principles around that. So we've got a task force that's created just to work on that.
We are going to take just a short break. Don't go anywhere. There's more Brokerage in Motion coming up.
Streamline your life insurance application process with LexisNexis Life Data Prefill, so your customers can get back to life. With a name, address, and date of birth, Life Data Prefill instantly fills in essential data for you to access and use at the point of sale. Providing you, the carrier, with more accurate data early on in the application process helps improve efficiency and creates a better experience for consumers and producers. Now, several new data packages enable you to incorporate even more insights into your application process. These enhancements help you proceed with greater confidence and enable more informed decisions that help you achieve your goals. Contact your LexisNexis Risk Solutions account executive to learn more.
Time now for our IDY segment, where we shine the spotlight on the people in the industry and learn what drives them. This man has found success in life and business as an overachiever, but he also has made sure to seize any opportunities he's been given. Take a look.
The first game of my career was against North Carolina. They were number 2 in the nation because 2 guys got hurt and there was nobody else to play, and I volunteered.
A defensive lineman and team captain, Bruce Messner made a successful college football career in the early 80s at the University of Maryland. This after being recruited by many other schools.
It was probably the best decision I ever made. I had a pretty good career there, really enjoyed it, still have lifelong friends, met my wife there. We played lots of big schools. I got to play against Bo Jackson down in Auburn, play at Michigan, Tennessee, Clemson. And I always loved that limelight. I loved the excitement. I loved the idea of going in, sometimes being an underdog, sometimes being a favorite. It's one of those things that I just would embrace.
A competitive spirit that helped Bruce go to the NFL, where he played a season with the Buffalo Bills. But Bruce's interests have kept him busy far beyond football, from rafting down the Colorado River, to avidly playing rounds upon rounds of golf, to dirt bike racing with friends. Most important, his wife and 3 daughters. But Bruce's professional history after football is just as manifold.
I went into clothing manufacturing, which was in the dress industry, and then wound up opening my own company. And I was a I was actually a dress designer at one point, believe it or not.
And eventually, Bruce landed in insurance. So how did that particular experience prepare you for the business world?
You have coaches, you have trainers, you have doctors, you have people who are actually, performing on the field playing. And in insurance now, because the medical underwriting has become so difficult, we're our producers, our underwriters, our chief underwriters, we're all working together a lot more. And the common goal has never been more apparent to work for the client.
Today, Bruce serves as the president of American Business, a boutique life insurance firm whose business model is centered around taking amazing care of its clients.
So our reputation has always been for being very forthcoming, and that's why we keep our relationships for so long.
And it's that philosophy of working together that Bruce says unites everyone in the company. One team that operates and succeeds together.
Playing football and being involved in a team was always so important to me, and I think that I've been able to bring that to the business world and to the people that we work with.
And right now I am joined by CEO Dan LaBert. And Dan, I'd like to focus on more details surrounding the intent to merge with Finseca. So can you talk about the vote process for NAILBA members?
Yes, it's been exciting. We've held lots of listening tours over the past few months. One specific listening tour had almost 100 people in attendance. So the interest around the announcement of NAILBA and Finseca and intent to merge is high. So the question we've been being asked, well, there's lots of questions we've been asked, but one of the questions is, hey, when does the vote take place and who is eligible to vote as part of it? So let's answer the second question first. You have to have your NAILBA membership renewed or your agency joined by Friday, April 15th. Now, we all know that date for lots of other reasons, but in this case, it's for being able to vote in the NAILBA-Finseca merger. The vote will open Monday, April 18th and run until May 20th. So lots of time there to cast your vote. And of course, make sure you have joined or renewed by Friday, April 15th.
All right, Dan, so let's talk additional resources. What materials should NAILBA members be on the lookout for an overview on the vote, benefits, future due structures, all that good stuff?
Yes, and that's one of the other big pieces that came out of the listening tour. It was like, hey, I like this. Sounds like a good idea, but what exactly are we getting here? What is a due structure going to look like? Of course, we've covered the whisper down the hallway that the annual meeting will always be part of NAILBA and the brokerage community. So we are going to have materials available on our website and materials distributed to all of the voting agencies, again, of those who join or renew by Friday, April 15th, on what the due structure will look like, which I have a great surprise that it's not changing much at all. There'll be a slight increase around membership, but that was planned regardless of the merger. And the benefits that will be listed as far as, hey, it's not just the NAILBA benefits you get for your dues investment, but the additional resources around advocacy, professional development that Finseca is already well known for. So that material will be hosted at nailba.org. It'll be available for all members to see. It'll be shared with all members to see. And most importantly, we are going to list what each member of the NAILBA board of directors and how they voted, which in this case was unanimous to move forward. So, but we want to make sure, again, 100% transparency. We want you to know exactly what you're voting on. We want you to know when you should vote. And the new benefits that will come to being a part of the new merged entity.
Very helpful, excellent information. Thanks so much, Dan.
Thank you, Katie.
That is going to do it for this episode of Brokerage in Motion. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Leading the financial planning business, Simplicity Group is proud to support its distribution partners, advisors, and consumers with industry education and long-term consumer value. Step into the future with Simplicity Group. Visit simplicitygroup.com for more information.